Thank you, Lord Mayor. I have some high-level comments about our future city and a couple of specific issues regarding the children's, young people and families section. On our future city, there seems to be confusion in the opening paragraph about what the document is. Is it a framework, a plan, or a strategy? In the first line of 3.11, it's a bold plan, and then a few lines later, it's one of the most important strategies written for the city this century. Now, if you take the definition of a plan as a detailed proposal for doing or achieving something, I don't see it's that. And this matters. We need more clarity about what our future city defines and what it leaves open for future discussion. I'd see it as a strategy, but I fear that if approved, we will come to work up detailed plans to deliver the strategy, and debate about them will be closed off because this bold plan has been signed off. Yet what is vital for successful delivery is community engagement and support, and that needs engagement on the detailed plan, not just the strategy. That said, there's a lot in it that I like the sound of. A city of growth for all, and a city of nature sounds fantastic. A city of knowledge and innovation is just what we need. The real question is how, and this is where I worry. For example, play is made early in the report of being like Copenhagen. I know Copenhagen quite well. My wife has family living there, and we are a million miles from having the same level of transport infrastructure as they do. If you take the whole urban area around Copenhagen, their population is similar to the city of Birmingham, a little above, but comparable. They have a 4-line metro system, which began operation in 2002, 3 years after Midland Metro started. The Copenhagen Metro now has 39 stations and an annual ridership of 107 million. By contrast, the whole West Midlands Metro had a pre-pandemic ridership of just over 8 million. And as I've said before, we have no realistic, financially, prospect of our metro expanding beyond the current routes being built. And if you want to compare the two cities with regard to cycling, well, that is perhaps the definition of ambition. Nothing wrong with that. But again, our progress and planned progress seems light years away from what would be needed to approach their levels. So it's all great to talk about matching Copenhagen, but simply saying it won't make it happen. And I see nothing in this framework, plan, strategy, vision, whatever it is, that will. It will take more than throwing the word bold into every few lines. On children, young peoples and families, I want to just focus about child obesity, because there's nothing in the report at all, despite the crisis we face. In Birmingham, the proportion of obese children in reception is 11.6%, 1.7% above the UK average. But by year 6, that has increased to a staggering 26.5%, which is nearly 5% above the UK average, and it's trending up. And bear in mind, these figures do not include overweight children, just the obese ones. Obesity causes ill health and limits life. And it's therefore no surprise to learn that across Birmingham, life expectancy at 65 is 2 years less than the UK average. Now, from what I understand, once you become obese in your school years, you are very likely to stay obese in adulthood. So this is something we need to tackle much more energetically in early school years. And finally, quickly, there's only one mention about the issue around children in temporary accommodation, which relates to their increased risk of exclusion, the increased risk of them not attending school. But the potential damage from long stints in TA goes much wider than that, and I'd like to see more focus on that. Thank you, Lord Mayor.
Thank you. Next